Hello and welcome to another show with me and Nat. This is All For United. Thank you for joining us last week, guys. Just before we get started, just a massive thank you. Over 900 views about our women's team. It really is fantastic to see, especially on a channel that's more based around our men's team. So it's great to see. Thank you for all the positive feedback and this, that and the other. So today we're joined by Ben. How are you doing, Ben?
You all right, Ben?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Nat, how are you keeping? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good, John. As always, happy to be here talking about the girls.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we've got Ben on today because Ben's obviously been with the Barmy Army for a long time. When was your first game, Ben, with the Barmy Army and with Man United women's team?
Oh, Barmy Army. I came a little bit later than I think. I can't remember what my first game was now. It's been that long ago. I came a bit later than some people. I mean, Sheffield. That's right. Yeah. Because before that, I was like sitting with my son further down below to the left hand side of the stadium, and then obviously you could hear Natalie on the right hand side of the stadium. So I think Frosty went one time, did he? And then Frosty said, "Oh, yeah, come over here, Ben. Come stand with us and sing." And yeah, so that's how it all began for me.
I remember it. Sheffield. It was me a lot, Ben, and like you say, you were off with your son at the front. But I think we had known each other at Old Trafford, and then
we'd seen each other around from Old Trafford.
Yeah, Adam Frost, he came Charlton away. This was Charlton at home in the home game. It was like November-ish time, and that's when it all properly started. Ben joined. Ben was at the back with Mark. Deb came. Loads of different people were there, like Cheney. That's when we met him at Spurs. So it was always building. It's always building, developing. Now Ben drives a lot, so every time we go away, Ben will be we have a little the mini bus, so like the 9-seater mini bus. We all went on at the start. It was in January. It was our first away trip. January 19 was our first away trip. Just 9 of us, and Ben was there, and we had the flag, and it's really grown since then. So yeah, Benji's on the wheel. That's why it is now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone there for joining.
9 of us down, but soon it'll be a big bus. Hopefully, that's what the aims are.
Fingers crossed,
coming down.
Exactly, that's the aim, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see where we get up to.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for joining in, Matt and John, Brown Knight. Hello, everybody. So just very quickly, just before we move on to the topics, one of the things that got me involved with the Barmy Army is actually one of my first memories is yourself, Ben, with the Martha incident. So that was the first
incident. That's legendary, that.
Yeah, maybe we'll stick a few pictures up after the video and just show the public what they're missing there with the that.
I shaved it, didn't I, Ben? And we were at Hotel Football and we did it live on the Barmy.
You did a top job.
It was funny that just how it all came about. Asking. I can't even remember the game, Ben, but it was like Shivy was like, Martha never scores, and then we were like, I'll have a bet, and it just kept going and going. The beard is gone, and then obviously they won that penalty. We'd already won we'd won the league, hadn't we? Because the game after we'd won the league.
Yeah, we won the league by then. Yeah.
Martha drove into the box, got fouled, and it was like, well, Martha's got to take it. Katie picked it up, and Martha went like retreated backwards. Like, no, I'm not taking it. Put the ball on Martha, like, you're bloody taking it. Martha stepped up, goal, bang, scenes. Everyone went mad. Everyone jumped on Ben. Martha came over at the end of the game with a Remington kit, like, bang, do it, take a picture of the flag. It was all over social. that day, and that's what that game's all about. No one remembers anything else. It's just she scored the penalty. The bird went literally like the game was on the Sunday. The bird went on like the Wednesday or the Tuesday.
And there is a video on your Barmy Army channel, I'm sure. If you scroll back to last year, I'm sure you can find that video. Anyway, guys, the title of the show is something along the lines of Casey's top 3 dilemmas. It's all happy headaches. It's all positive options that she has. Just before we get into the those top 3, though, have to address like the elephant in the room when it comes to fans still not being allowed into the grounds. Obviously, with what's gone on this week, things are getting worse in the country. Obviously, it's the right thing for the country, of course. But as for 3 match goers, obviously, we was all disappointed. Nat, I know what the answer is going to be already, but what was your first thoughts when you heard that the fans were paused and wasn't able to get into the ground anytime soon?
Disappointed. I think. I know it's like the right decision for like health, but I think. If you think about it, the way it works at a football ground, everyone would come in at stage times. Everyone would sit down. It's open air. For me, I think, and I get that they're thinking about, when you celebrate all this and limbs everywhere. But everyone would know, people aren't stupid. They know it's a pandemic. They know they can't jump on each other like they would. They know they're not going out to get tanked up at the football game like they would. And, with the women's team, that doesn't really happen as much. Yes, we all jump on each other. Yes, we all have a good time. But, it's just keep your distance. We'd be sitting on our own. We all come together as a family, but we all would sit on our own, if we had to, just to watch it. So, for me, an open-air stadium, I don't understand. But I'm not the government, so they've made the decision.
I think for me as well, I just felt that we were so close to it as well. I really believe that Brighton game, we could have been there. And obviously, Nat, you know a bit more about the stadium than I do regarding how well equipped it was. But to me, we had weeks.
We're ready to go. We're ready to go. We're just waiting for the green light. That's it. We're ready to go. So that that's all I can really say. So. Yeah,
absolutely, Ben. What does it mean to you and your family going to a game? Obviously, we're missing out, but hopefully not too much longer, I hope.
I just miss the buzz, mate. The buzz of just being around your friends and your family, going to watch football. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just that buzz that you get. It's not the same watching on telly or watching a stream. I don't think of course, you're always happy to watch United, no matter how you can watch it. But it's just that match day buzz that miss just getting to the ground, just outside the ground, and you see Natalie come around the corner, jumping and bouncing. Come on! I miss all that. I just miss I miss the laughs more than anything as well. The laughs, like, say for example, you go on an away day, you're travelling down on the bus, and me and Craney are playing cheesy 90s tunes, and everyone's taking the absolute Michael out of us, if you know what I mean. Having Dave Prick rolling his eyes back. I just miss them sort of things. I just miss especially Natalie, the way she buzzes around the girls. I just miss that. I just miss her, seeing her just bouncing down them steps, going to the girls like, well, come on, banging on the boards at the front, especially at away matches when we're behind the goal. We're trying to intimidate the opposition keeper, and she's banging on the boards, trying to get everybody to sing, rallying everybody around. I just miss those times more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing. You miss the players, you miss the fans, you miss your mates, you miss the whole day out. It's the whole experience, isn't it? It's not just a 90-minute game. It's what we talk about day in, day out, whether it be on social media or things like this, or to our friends and family. And this is a pinnacle, isn't it? Match day is a pinnacle. And even though match day, we can watch it on the FA Play or MUFC, wherever, it's still not anywhere near what the experience should be like. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we're looking at maybe November now, a couple of massive games in November. So hopefully, let's aim for then. Anyway, on to some better news, on to some big. Ben, I'm going to start off with you. The reason why I've got you on the show is if there's one person who's a bigger Kirsty Hanson fan than myself, it's you. So just look, Casey's number one dilemma: what's she going to do with Kirsty Hanson? There's now got Tobin Heath joining the team. You've got Leah Galton, one of my favourites in the team. What's the plan for Kirsty Hanson, mate?
For me, she's got time on her side, though. I don't think she has to worry too much about who's coming in, who's going to play this and that. People forget she's still 22 years old. You know, she's got plenty of time to learn the game. I think with Tobin Heath coming in, though, there is nobody better that she can learn the game of football from, I don't think. You know, to add elements to her game. One thing I was thinking, though, was like, she can also play on the left-hand side. So if Leah needed a bit of a rest, or Leah picked up a knock or whatever, she could cover there. I just don't think she should worry too much about who's coming in, who's... I think she should take it as a bit of a challenge, you know. We already know she works harder than anyone that I know at a game. I just think she's got to just take it in a stride and just keep on believing in herself, just keep on going. At the end of the day, mate, I think she's in it. She's going to be here for the next decade, or she could be here for the next decade potentially. I take it in a stride and just seeing how well she could do up against people like Tobin Heath. The challenge is now being laid down for her. Can she now prove herself in training on match days that she deserves to start?
Yeah, it's very similar to what me and Nat said last week on the last week's show with all these these USA players coming over. LJ can learn off these players, so it's not a case of Hanson's career is over at United. Far from it. You know, this is a great opportunity for Hanson to learn off some of the best players in the world, and that's it for me. Maybe at the start of the season, you would have thought maybe Galton and Heath, on the attacking wide areas. But for me, Hanson has to start this next game. She's on form, as you said. She's one of the, for me, she's just one of the most fittest, physical people in the team at the moment. She's on form. You can see how hard she works. You can actually see her physical fitness there, and it's just working really well for her at the moment. She's improving from season to season. So for me, I think she needs to play until she's out of form. At the moment, I would say that she's more informed than Leah Galton. How about yourself, Nat? Would you play her in the next game, or there's no need to? There's no need to rush, like Ben says. But
yeah.
She's on form.
I think she's her and Tooney are our most formed players at the minute. So why would you drop someone who's in form? Why would you drop someone who's scored 2 goals and an assist in the last game? Why would you drop someone who's been nominated for Player of the Month? For me, she has to start. Like Ben says, it could be on the left. I think I love Leah. Everyone loves Leah. Leah on. I'm not saying she's not on form, but Leah is our best. One of our best attackers. I can't. McHenry, Maria. Leah's place is probably more of a threat at the minute if Tobin's going to start, but there's not even any guarantee. Like these interviews, they're coming in saying, I'm not playing for 6 months, I just need to play. I've had 1 training session, now I'm having a week. It doesn't mean anything. They're not going to just come in and it's not, for example, Alex Morgan at Spurs, apparently there's a talk that, she's taken a reduced pay cut to have guaranteed game time. I can't imagine Casey Stoney guaranteeing anyone anything. Don't matter how many World Cups you've won, don't matter how many gold medals you've got, you're not guaranteed anything. You've got to win your place. And, this week is going to be the most competitive week of training probably that we've ever had. And I'm worried for Brighton. I've got a friend who plays for them up front. I'm worried for them because Hanson knows she has to step up now. And when Tobin came, she put a post out saying there's nothing better than a young player learning off a World Cup winner. And that's the attitude, mate. That's the attitude that Hanson has had throughout the whole, time at Man United. She's never sulked. When she was in the Championship, she was doing a degree. She didn't get, she sort of she would say herself she probably didn't play her best in the second half, and I think, you know, she's grateful that she was still given the opportunity to play WSL, because obviously she got us there. But all last year, she, like Ben says, no one works harder. She's set the stall out like, I'm going to work 10 times harder. I might not be the most talented, but I'll work for that. Because like you say, Leah's, you know, everyone knows about Leah. So she's getting her name up there now. And I think that's what you want to see from any Man United player. Hard work is the minimum.
Yeah, and obviously we've all said it. Kirsty Hanson gives you that hard work. How about Ben? How do you think she's developing, like, off the pitch as well? For me, I've always said it looks like that she's gaining more confidence, whether it be on camera or after the games. I remember one of my first interviews that I saw was, I think, back in December 2018. So just as the season pretty much started, she was sitting on this settee with Casey Stoney. I think Millie Turner was there, and Siobhan Chamberlain was there. And that was, again, one of my earliest memories of Man United women's team. And Kirsty Hanson almost had to look at the rest of the team to make sure that it was okay for her to even speak. Now, you see her on Twitter and during the lockdown, Kirsty Hanson is just like, has just got so much confidence, hasn't she? I mean, what do you think? How do you think she's developed, and how do you think she is off the field as well?
She's come on leaps and bounds for me. One thing is, I think she's a confidence player. If things are not going too well, she's hard on herself. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, I don't think. It just proves how much she wants it, and how much she wants to be a winner, and how much she wants to be a Manchester United player. But the confidence is coming. I think the performances are coming. I think the biggest turning point was getting that Scotland call-up. I really think that is properly proving to maybe herself that she has the ability to go on and play at the very highest level for United and for Scotland. I think the championship she was storming in the championship, and then towards the end of the championship, it sort of, she was in and out the team. She had a few niggly injuries. I think studies were getting on top of her a little bit. But now she's passed her studies with flying colours. She's got her degrees and everything. She can concentrate on football. I don't think there's many better players, I don't think, apart from Leah Goltons, when they're at full flight, when she's running at full backs. I don't think there's many better players running at full backs than Kirsty Hanson and then Leah Golton. I just think that sometimes she can maybe, instead of cutting inside, maybe go round the outside of the full-backs, similar to what she did when she came on against Arsenal in the Conti Cup's semi-final at Boreham Wood. Last 15, 20 minutes, I think it was, and she absolutely had their full-back on toast, going inside, outside. I think you see that a little bit more of her getting on the outside instead of trying to come into a congested centre of the park. I think getting towards the byline, I don't think there's a better crosser of football than Kirsty Hanson. I think if she gets to the byline, she put one of them crosses in, whether it's pulled back to the penalty spot or to the edge of the area, or whether it is maybe dink it in, or I think one of the best ones we can do is get it to the byline, look at the far stick, look at Leah Golton's running at the far stick, try and pick her out. I think that's probably an avenue she could potentially, if she's looking to go out the outside a little bit more, get a little bit more joy.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think one thing that you never mentioned, but you're kind of hinting towards, is the fact that I think she adds balance to the team. I think at the start of the second season, at the start of last season, Jess Sigsworth played a lot on that right-hand side, and I'm one of Jess's biggest fans. But I think Kirsty won me over because I think Leah on the left and Kirsty on the right is our best option when it comes to balance. One thing I would have said is maybe Kirsty could get some more goals, but she's even scoring goals this season as well. I think she's got a couple already, hasn't she? Yeah. So for me, mate, she's just growing and growing. Nat, any final words on Kirsty?
Yeah, I'm just like you, John. I remember that first ever video with the women's team, and it was Casey, Siobhan, Millie, and she was just shy as anything. And now she's totally different. you know, for example, potentially if, I mean, we'd been in the WSL and we'd had Hanson and then they brought in Tobin, it would have been, that player would have reacted differently to the player that we saw encouraging it and welcoming it. And I feel that she's part of the furniture now. Her and Leah, yeah, you know, right and left, that's the best. You know, people say, oh, this and that, but that's the best wingers that I've seen. So for me, you know, Tobin is just bringing that extra quality because Tobin's going to be everywhere, can play all across the front three. So it's just adding quality, and that's what you want to see, and you want young players to learn off it and develop more.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And she will, you know, she will learn off these players. And don't forget, Tobin and Kristen Press won't be there forever. Whereas, as Ben says, you know, Kirsty could be here for 10 years, you know. So yeah, let's look forward to seeing how that goes because she's definitely like a shining light at the moment for Man United fans. 3 more shining lights is our number 10 position then. So second dilemma is our number 10 role. Look, I'm going to start it off. We've got Jackie Gronin, possibly one of our most decorated players, one of our most gifted players. We've got Ella Toon, who to me resembles a proper United number 7. She's got that X factor for me, she, you know, on and off the pitch, one of our own. And then I'm going to put LJ in there as well to get game time. Can she play a number 10 role if Russo or Press is going to get that number 9 role, so to speak? So, Ben, let's start with yourself. You know, what do you think these 3 players brings to the team? Start off with Jackie. What do you think Jackie brings to the team?
Calmness in midfield for me. I think she passes the ball very, very well. She links the play so well as well. I think there's no better player on the ball in the centre of the park that can put a foot on the ball, look up, pick that pass. I think she maybe struggled when she first came a little bit, but this season she's properly on it for me. Maybe I'd like to see her score a couple more goals, maybe take a couple more shots because I think she's got a superb strike on her. But I think she's probably our best sort of passer of the ball.
Yeah, well, we've seen that with 2 assists this season already. They've definitely started off the season, you know, with you know, on a flyer, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't know why she doesn't take more shots. To be honest, is it the positions that she gets herself in? Are players just crowding around her, opposing players, so she can't get a shot off? And I've never really looked at it that much, but she doesn't miss many shots. But I don't think she takes many shots either. You know, you know, her teammates say that's typical Jackie, like being unselfish. But yeah, Nat, what do you think Jackie brings?
For me, I'm agreeing with Ben. I think she started off like when she first came, there was all this hype around her. There was all, oh, Jackie's going to be this, Jackie's going to be that. And I think last season, whether it's just settling in or what, or nerves, or wasn't used to, say, maybe, like in Holland, there are other star players. I'm not sure about the team that she was in Germany, but I don't think she was used to it all being on her, all eyes on her. Everyone was like, you know, I remember when we first met her in Oslo, and it was, I've never lost myself so much. And everyone's like, Ben was talking at the start when Nat bounces around, I've never lost control of myself so much that I've been embarrassed thinking back about it. And I think back about that moment and think, I was so embarrassing. Like screaming at the girl, telling her just, and Katie Zellum looked at me like, calm down, Nat, calm down. And I just thought, don't tell me to calm down. And I was so embarrassing. But it was funny as well, and she loved it. She took that picture. Ben, you've got that picture where her and Jess are holding it. So Jess is going in Barmy Army. We just lost our heads that when we met her. And I don't think we've ever had that. And I think that she felt that pressure from it. And I think, you know, obviously the first game was in the Etihad. She hit the bar and so close to scoring. And then she was injured. And then she came back for Spurs. And I remember that game because I remember that was a really good game. We had about 5-6 shots and she was taking shots. And actually Hanson scored off a shot that rebounded back to her, back Jackie hit the defender and it rebounded to Hanson. And there was a moment when she was 1-on-1, and I just remember everyone just being like the intake of breath, because she was 1-on-1, and we were just everyone was waiting for her to score, and it was like, Jackie's going to score today, Jackie's going to score today. And I think she felt that pressure. But I think towards the end of just before lockdown, we started to see her best performances in the United shirt. I think when she plays a bit deeper, you see the best of her. But and I think now she's settled in. She knows everyone. She knows all the fans. She knows what to expect. She knows what we expect. She knows what Casey expects. And I think you're just seeing the best of her. And I think the best thing, I mean, she might disagree, but I think the best thing that's happened was Casey not starting that game, because I think it just, and versus Chelsea, the very first game, she came off the bench and she got an assist. And I think if you look at the video when she's coming on and her face is like thunder, I've never seen a face like that. Usually she's always smiling. There was no smiles. It was just dagger eyes. I'm coming on. I'm going to show you. And bang, she changed. She was on the right. She was making moves. No one could get her. And she whipped a ball in. Bang. 1-1. Leah's there on the end of it. She could have cut it to LJ and he might not have done it, but she played it all the way across and she knew Leah was going to be there. And I just think she's got a new energy. She did an assist for Hanson, and she was in the box versus Birmingham, and she was just, if anyone sees it and watches it, the footwork is magical. And this is the real Jackie Groden that we're seeing now. And I think, like you said, we've got Press, we've got Heath now as well. So we've got Russo, we've got Fuso, we've got, we're going to talk about LJ. We've got all these names on her. People are talking about. I think she's just there. Not saying that she's in the background or anything, but she's just there now. It's not people falling over her. People will still fall over her, but it's not like, oh my God, these people, 20-odd people have flown over from Manchester to see me and brought me this massive flag, and they've never met me before. They're just throwing herself at me. It's not like that anymore. It's just, you're all right, Jackie, you're all right. And then running after Press, you know what I mean? It's we love all of them, but I think, she just, and I think with the men's team, they experience it. It's the weight of the badge, isn't it? And some people crumble under it. I'm not saying to crumble, but it's a heavy shirt to wear. It's not just, slip it on easy and I'll just, this and that, and I can be lazy and I can do that. No. There's a standard when you wear that badge, and I think she tried too much last year at times. Desperate, and it's the weight of the badge. And now she's settled, she's calmer, she's happy. Her and Ramsey have got a really strong friendship. Obviously, she's really good friends with Lotta, Leah, Hanson. It's just, you can see the real Jackie now.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think she will have settled down now, definitely. Hello, Mark, in the comments, by the way. Thank you for joining in. And that's the thing. I think she's playing with not just more headline players, but better quality players as well now. So maybe where some of her passes didn't come off last time, or the way her playing style may not have worked last season, it might work this season because something's working at the moment, and we've still got other players to come in as well. So I think if she can relax and just play her own game, we know how good that game is. One thing that's going to really annoy me and want me to pull my little hair out is if she scores and we're not there to celebrate it. We've been waiting for that goal, and it's going to come eventually. And I just loved it to be in the ground, and maybe at one point, we'll be in the ground to see her score. But I can't wait to see her reaction when she scores. Do you think she'll point over to us and give us a bit of a cheer in the crowd? I'm sure she might do. Okay, so obviously Jackie played a lot of games last season in that number 10 kind of position. She's got competition this season in my eyes in that role. Ella Toon, one of my favourite players now. I say this with all the players, one of my favourites, but I think she's winning me over, every week. Ben, talk to me about Ella, you would have seen her in the first season. How do you think she's progressing?
I think she's the ace up our sleeve. I really do. Like Craney said, she could also play on the right-hand side in midfield as well. Craney keeps banging on to me that she's always been a right winger. But I think that's just credit to Ella herself, like putting herself in the number 10 role, or going pushing a bit further upfield, up front, up top. I think she's the best late runner into the box that I think the team has. You watch the way you watch her move. She's very, very clever in her movement. Say, for example, Leah's got it out wide, and she's maybe jostling a little bit with the fullback. You'll just see then Ella in the corner of your eye just make that little run into the box. And I think if we could pick her out a little bit more, I think she could be well up there again, once again, in the goal scoring charts. I think her late runs is timed to absolute perfection at times. I don't think she's as strong as Jackie in the passing and the moving side of it, but the actual shooting element of her game, I think, is probably the best out of all three of them. I do think she can pick a shot out of nothing. Like, she could have two players around her, but she'll still find a way to bend a shot. I just think she's another one that's gaining a lot of confidence. The more matches she's playing, and the more she's in the starting lineup, she's flourishing, and she's growing into a player that I think is another one that could be here for the next decade.
Yeah. Go on, Nat. What was you going to say?
I mean, I can't say a name, so I'm really sorry, and I do know who you are. Makiri, I can't even say it. Ella's year. Someone else. The more I watch Ella, the more I become a fan. And I just think she reminds me of like a Matter, kind of like a young Matter, like just the way she touches and moves the ball, the one-touch pass that she flicks over to Jackie. I mean, just even me thinking back to last year, West Ham away, I know we lost it, but when she came on and the pass that she made for LJ was like outside of a boot curling pass round onto LJ. It was beautiful. And I know Craney says it like she started off as a right wing, but I think it's credit to Ella for listening to the gaffer, for putting her there in that 10, because she's too clever for the right wing. She's too clever to be on the wing. Not saying it's not but she's got too much, like, I think her brain, when she puts it into gear, the football brain, I'm not saying that wingers haven't got this, but I just think, what I'm saying, like a Matter, he's got that football brain, like those late runs, they'll know when to be there. And I think every time Ella came on, for me, or if she started last season, it was just a different game. The energy that she's got, the movement. I've seen her a couple of times for England, and she was playing in central midfield. So even a bit deeper back than 10, and even then she was dictating the play. Because it's not with a player like that, Ella, she just knows where to be. Knows where to be to pick up the pass, knows who's around her, knows, if she moves the ball like this, she'll beat the opposition. And I just think it's credit to Casey for putting her in 10, believing in her, telling her she can do it, because for me, she's one of the best young number 10 players that England have got, that we've got. People are falling in love with her, like left, right, and centre, because she scored a header for England, just international break. It's like the first ever header I've scored. Well, like Ben says, the more you get on the end of that ball, the more headers you're going to be scoring, love. Don't worry about that, And I think that's an area where she can work on, because if that's her first header, we need to see more, because, like you say, she'll be making them last-minute runs, and that's when it's bang, you head on it, head it down in the corner, 1-0, thanks a lot, and just the touch on her, the way she passes the ball, it's just exquisite for me. And I think, like you said, confidence. She didn't maybe play as much as she wanted last year. She started this year. For me, her and Hanson, undroppable. You can't drop them. I mean, yeah, it's on Kristen and Tobin to come and win that place in this training session, but they need to know that you can't drop your level either in training. You got to train harder, if we think about, like, say, Roy Keane and all, and, the big players that have ever played for Man United, their hardest games were training games, and that's the way it should be. So you can never drop your level for anything. So if you want to keep that place, don't drop your level. But for me, the form that her and Hanson on, you can't drop them.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much in agreement that at the moment with Kirsty Hanson and Tooney, you can't drop them because they're probably on the form of their life at the moment when it comes to the standard that they're at and the standard that they're playing in. I'm surprised that she didn't get more game time last season because I think one thing that we was lacking last season was goals, especially from the midfield areas. And if there's one midfielder that I think that can score goals, apart from Katie and a superb free kicks, it'll be Ella. If I'm thinking to myself, right, I need to score goals today, I'll put Ella on. And that's a great credit to Ella because every time she's called upon, she scores, whether it be a cup match or a league match. And I think what also we're seeing with Casey and Ella's relationship is it a bit like what Sir Alex has done with his youngsters in the 90s, and just bringing them through gradually. There isn't a rush. Thankfully, Ella didn't need to play every game last season, and I think Casey's probably doing the right thing with Ella. I think she is bringing her through gradually, and that's okay. That's what United fans want. We want Ella to be here forever, and there's no need to rush her into it. And as bringing her in gradually, I think other players may be forced into playing because of lack of depth last season. So can't speak highly enough of Ella. She is our number 7. I think she's very worthy of that number 7. And at the moment, I'll probably play Ella ahead of Jackie in that role at least. Definitely, yeah. However, there is another candidate. No, I threw out Jane there because obviously you think that Tess, when fit, she'll probably play the majority of the games. Maybe. Russo obviously started off the season. Well, her debut game was very good. Jane Ross, obviously one of Casey's favourites. She started a couple of pre-season games. I think she started both WSL games. And we've got Sydney coming back as well. So where's LJ going to play? So I've stuck in that number 10 role. Nat, I'm going to start with you. Sorry, Ben, but Nat needs to start this one. Anything to do with LJ?
Lauren James is my favourite. Oh, I know I've just waxed lyrical over Tooney, but Lauren's going to win the Ballon d'Or. That's how highly I rate Lauren. That's how highly Man United fans should rate Lauren. Lauren needs to. I know Lauren rates herself that highly anyway, and that's what Lauren wants to do. But again, you need to listen to the manager. You need to do everything that she says. I mean, God, the way we were so reliant on LJ last year to basically score all the goals, and she was only 18, and she was the best. For me, she's our best player. You can't what she can do with a ball, and I mean, it's like watching Ronaldo. I mean, I don't like comparing women and men players, but when I watch, that's the excitement I feel. And that's how I can explain it. That's the excitement I feel watching LJ at 18 as watching him at 18. And just know that she's going to be, if she puts her mind to it, focuses, does everything that's asked of her, the world is there for her. So, yeah, it's going to be, because like you say, press has come out and said, I'm a number 9. Russo's a number 9. Obviously, you've already got Jess, who wears a number 9. You've got Ross, and then you've got you have to play LJ because it's LJ. I'm speaking of her like that big, but in a way, we relied on her so much last year. And I'm not saying, we're not going to play her this year. And I mean, even this is before we even talking about Fuso. You know what I mean? I think we relied on her so much last year that really what Alex Ferguson did with Ronaldo was he gave him time off, let him do little, let him go back home. And I know with COVID, she probably can't do that, but, let her go and spend time with her dad and let her go and spend time with her brother. And, things like that are going to be crucial to a player like that growing and developing, because she's in Manchester. She's not, her dad comes up. Her dad's always here. Reese was in Wigan the first year. So it was good for her. She had that connection around her a lot. Obviously now she's got her own pad or whatever. She's living the life, which I'm happy for her. But she needs to just manage LJ. I'm not saying that she hasn't before, but I just felt like everything was on LJ. And I think, we needed them goals. So it was everyone looked at LJ to just, if LJ didn't score, then what would we do? Whereas now it's that less pressure on LJ, and it's just more time for it to just shine and just show what she's about, because no one's looking at you as like a number 9 desperate to score. They're just looking at you like the absolute worldie that you are. And that I can't say anything more about her really. And, for me, it would be Tooney at 10, but LJ's like the best, LJ's our best player really. So it's, I don't know. Maybe it's them both fighting for it, and it's amazing because Tooney's got a few more years on LJ, and I think when you watch Tooney, she's more refined in it. And I've seen someone saying uncut diamond, people saying what about Staniforth at 10? I mean, we're not even talking about her, and that's I think more her position. And it's from where we were. Yeah, in the championship, we had a championship team, and and then last year we probably didn't have enough depth, and now we've got like depth, but times 100.
Yeah.
It's depth times 100 because we've got 2 World Cup winners as well, and then you're talking about potentially people like LJ, Tooney, then you're talking about someone like Staniforth who can't even get in. Then you've got Fuso, who we've not seen yet, who's I think. Well, when I speak to people in Germany, they say she is the best thing since this and that, and they're talking about her the way we're talking about LJ. So it's like I don't know what to do. I don't know. I do not know. And Russo is quality. We saw that in that like 45 minutes that she played. They speak about her so highly. So it's like trying to temper yourself, innit? Don't get too excited, but get excited.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with pretty much the point you just made there. Just to reiterate, I mean, when I was speaking about Tooney being looked after by Casey and bringing it through gradually, that LJ was the example that I didn't mention it, but that's the kind of example that I was thinking, because LJ has been forced to play more games because of the lack of depth last season. But all of a sudden, the removal of 2 goalkeepers permanently, another one out on loan, bringing in all of a sudden 3 extra outfield players of good quality, not just to sit on the bench, actually, who can come into that first team. All of a sudden, you're looking around and anyone can play. But last season, that wasn't the case for Casey, and we saw that by her team selection pretty much being the same almost week in, week out when everyone was fit. Benny, LJ, man, what can you say?
She's the most naturally gifted footballer I've ever seen in a long time. The things she can do, there's not a lot she can't do. Let's put it that way. I think the one thing that I always say is maybe she could get her head up and pass the ball a little bit more, maybe look for a player in a better position. But LJ on absolute tip-top form is unplayable. Absolutely unplayable. She can take players on, players bounce off her, no one can get the ball off her. What I was saying about Hanson running at defenders, LJ running at any of the back line is scary. You don't know which foot she's going to go on. You don't know which way she's going to go. You don't know if she's going to go odds the wide out wide, or whether she's going to go drive straight through the centre. Her driving at defenders is just. It reminds me of again, like Natalie. I don't like comparing to male footballers, but it reminds me of a young Wayne Rooney. Just the way she just drives through the centre, and nobody get the ball off her, and the defenders are trying, the opposition are trying. All you see is they're bouncing off, and you'll see the opposition. Somebody might be trying to muscle LJ, and all that happens is they bounce off and fall to the floor. It's like Nat says. I think she is the best. I think she's the best in this whole team, and that's with the Americans. That's with the Heath and Press. I still think LJ is our best player without a shadow of a doubt.
I think, yeah. When you look at when you look at strikers, obviously we talk about a number 10 position, but she's playing mainly as obviously a striker. If there's one player that you need to create a yard and just get a shot away, it'll be LJ. And as you say, she can run with the ball, she can find space, she can dribble to a point where it's only like a couple of steps, but she just still manages to find space and just gets that shot away. And obviously she scored that memorable first goal of the WSL season. You know, you'll never get tired of seeing that goal. You know, if you ask anyone what was your favourite goal of the season last season, I'm sure it'll be in everyone's top 2 or 3 scoring against Liverpool at LSV. Go on, Nat.
And I just want to go back to the very, very, very first point about fans. If you watch that goal, oh my God, that, obviously it's not Old Trafford, it's not 11th, but if you just hear the breath, the intake of breath from everyone as she just cuts it onto her other foot, and then the relief, the noise when she scores, when it hits the back of the net. Oh my God. And you can see the way that everyone celebrates. Everyone, because it just goes pop, and just it's that relief of the first 2 games and half of that, and that pop was just.
Was it just one day before her birthday as well? Was it? I'm sure it was like birthday time as well, and even the fans behind the goal stood up, and they're usually a bit more mellow, and absolutely fantastic goal. I mean, you can't talk about LJ without that goal as well. So look, number 10 position. I think if Press is obviously going to take up that number 9 role pretty much every game, then I wouldn't have a problem seeing LJ start a few games at number 10. But as you just said. Any of those 3 would be worthy of a start, wouldn't they? And look at that strength in depth there, that number 10 role. I think it's fantastic. And then we just got a bit of time just to talk about our centre-back pairing. So the first season, we got Turner and Turner, who got us promoted. Second season, we had Millie Turner and Abby McManus, who got us to the top 4 semi-final in the Conti Cup. This season, it looks like Abby started being subbed off, and Amy come on. Where can you see this one going? Either way, I think it's a good partnership, but at the moment, I think the jury's still out. Go on, Ben.
For me, Millie Turner's an absolute starter every time. I don't think there's a better natural defender. I really don't. I think she's a leader as well. She's a proper leader. It's rarely puts her foot wrong. Yes, Abby McManus is probably the more experienced of the 3, I think, in terms of international level. But Millie Turner, for me, is definitely the one. I think definitely has to start every game, or as many games as possible. I think maybe to play every game is a little bit hard, I think. Season in, season out. She will probably be swapped in and out a little bit more, I think. But for me, she's our best defender, without a shadow of a doubt. Abby McManus is probably, as I said, she's our most experienced one, I think, internationally wise. Again, you can say she's probably quite a decent leader at the back as well. I do worry about her a little bit, concentration-wise sometimes, but she's a great player. And Amy Turner is probably the best tackler of the lot of them. I think she just goes through people. As simple as that. She'll win the ball. She's like again, not trying to compare with the men or anything, but she's like the Vidic of the team. She will go for anything. She don't care if she comes out. If she picks up a bit of an injury from it, she'll get back up, dust herself off, and you can guarantee that she'll be back in for that next challenge, the next 50-50, the next header, the next crunching challenge. She will be the first one into it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Millie, Turner and Turner, that's what it was, wasn't it? Championship season, and that's a song that just goes round. And then we adapted it a bit with Abby Mack because Amy played right back. And now obviously we've got, Honors right back, left back, wherever, but she's got the fullbacks as the fullbacks basically. And this is the one I can't say. I don't know. I agree. Millie's the standout for me. You said the way that you paired them, it's always Millie in this, Millie in that one. So I think, Millie will play. Like Ben saying, probably won't play every game, but she missed one game so far across 2 seasons. And I remember we were at that game and she was sitting behind us, because that's when we go, we're at the back, and the boxes are at the back behind us, so the girls sit behind us. And I looked up at Millie, and usually Millie's always smiling. You never find a picture of Millie not smiling, you know. And I just looked at her and I went, Millie, and she ignored me. I went, Millie, and she looked and she just was so sad. It's like she'd lost a football match, and I was thinking, Millie, we're not even started yet. Why are you crying? Don't be sad. And she was so sad, and that's how much it means to her. She's Man United, man. That's when I think of Man United women's team. I think that's a name that boom in my head. I mean, Matt's saying Turner and Turner for him. I can understand people who do say that. You know, they won us the championship. You've got to put respect on them. And I think Amy, like you say, it's like a Rio and Vidic thing, and it really is. With her, Millie's like that smart one, and she'll play out from the back, she'll intercept, but she is a big, strong header and a big, strong tackle, Millie as well. But Amy will just take everyone out. She does not care, and I love that. And it's like the Vidic. But remember when Vidic played against Torres, and I know I'm going on to the men's team a bit, but he always got spun by him, and then when he took him out, he always had the red card, and that's what when I watch Amy, that's what I get worried about. Shit, is she going to get a red card? She's going to take someone out. It's in the penalty box. Is the ref going to? I mean, the referees are shocking in the WSL anyway. You know, you wouldn't even. Sunday League standard is better than some of these refs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of the refs, and I'll say that out and properly. But I'm always worried that she's going to, like, because she is that kind of player, she just takes everything, and something bad's going to happen. Abby, she's played most. I mean, like Ben saying, I think she's actually a really good leader. I think she's. I always hear her speaking a lot. I always hear her speaking with Mary a lot. She'll tell Mary this and that. You know, she'll tell Mary speak up, and she'll tell Millie speak up. And I think that's what we need. We need like someone who has got that international experience, who knows how to play against loads of different players. But it's like what Ben's saying, it's a little bit of concentration, and I don't know. This is one as well where, you know, you could maybe say a bit, bang, you know, Tooney's going to play, or this is going to happen with this other, you know, I can't remember our first debate, but, you know, you can say that this is going to happen with this, but with the centre-backs, I don't know. It's a hard one. I mean, I want to just say a little thing. I know Ben's watching a bit, but the centre-backs coming through the under-21 team are best part of that under-21 team. Poppy Lawson's been at Man United since she was 5. She let me know. She is absolutely quality, and she reminds me a bit of both. A bit of Millie, but she's a hard tackler like Amy, but she can bring the ball out. Chloe Broughton, who's playing beside her, bang, tough tackler as well. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe you might see one of them. Well, I don't think straight away in a WSL in a big game, but, you know, then we get a nice. We've not even really got a nice County Cup draw, so. But, you know, against Liverpool, we could play one of them, and I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but there's options there. Because I don't really like having 3 centre-backs. I think it's a bit one of them. I'd rather have 4, but we've got 3, and you know that one's coming through. You know, Teddy Mengi's coming through for the men's side, so I like to. If that's what that 4th position is, and then one of them 2 in the development side and in the 21s step up, I'd love to see it. So for me, I mean, Max Johnson, Millie's the first name on the team sheet, but I don't. Between Amy and Abby, for me, it's whoever's playing the best or whoever's more consistent. But I think, you know, there's mistakes potentially. There's mistakes from Millie as well. Everyone makes mistakes, you know, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against what Matt says there, Turner and Turner. I think we haven't seen much of that in the last 12 months, so I've got no problem seeing that if I see a starting lineup of Turner and Turner. Ben mentioned about Millie being showing a bit of leadership as well. I remember doing a Barmy Army podcast a little while ago now during lockdown, and I think Mark asked me who would your captain be if it wasn't Katie, and I think the majority of the comments said, "Hey lad," and I can understand why. But for me, I said Millie, and you know, I do think that she shows some good leadership attributes. on and off the pitch. You know, I can imagine the team, the players going up to her in training and everything, saying, "Millie, what do you think I should do about this?" Or asking her for like acceptance in some sort of way. So Millie is obviously, I agree with Matt. She's definitely the first name on the team sheet for me. And that you actually took my question away. I was going to say, have you seen anyone in the devs who could potentially be that fourth centre back? Because I think out of all areas on the field at the moment, we've probably looked the weakest in the centre back area regarding strength and depth. So maybe we can do a show, you know, either with yourself. That would be great to do, wouldn't it? Yeah. Obviously, we have come near towards the end of the show. Just one last thing before we do go. I don't know if you've both seen the short videos. I think you probably have of Kristen Fess and Tarbin Heath. Obviously, their first interviews with the club. They just kept on being so direct and kept on talking about winning, the whole winning mentality. Ben, I don't know if you've seen it, but basically the interviews were just purely about them talking about wanting to win this, wanting to win that. What two great additions to have when all they're talking about is what they want to win and what they want to achieve in this one season. Go on, Ben.
The winning mentality, mate. It's that American winning mentality. I think it comes with a lot of American players. I think that they know how to win a football game. They know that they've got to be at their very, very best every game, because that's how they're judged, as the very, very, very best, the cream of the crop. And I think it's a good mentality to have winners in a team. You need winners. If you have a team full of people that are, you know, I don't know, humming and hawing, it ain't going to work. But someone you need, even if it's just the one person, that's just that mentality of we're winning. I don't care who it is, what cost it takes, we are going to win this football game. And I think that's it'll spur on those around them. You know, people that might be struggling with a little bit of confidence, they've not started as many games as they've hoped, or they've picked up a few niggly injuries. You know, strong voices in the dressing room. They'll probably both of them probably go around. I think they'll both be a strong presence in the dressing room. A little bit like Zlatan was, I think, for the men at one point. You know, when Zlatan was here, just going around picking people up, giving pointers to their games. If they're struggling for a little bit of form and a bit of confidence, going up saying, "Hey, you could do it. You can do that. You could beat that fullback. You can beat that defender. You can crunch into that attacker." You know, I think they will give us that little bit of experience that we've been lacking, that little bit of winning mentality, that little bit of edge. You know, and I think two world-class players coming in will absolutely up everybody's game in every position, from the goalkeeper to the back line, to the midfield, to the players that play up front, to even the coaching staff. It'll just raise everybody's game, just make everyone feel a little bit bigger about themselves. Yeah, we're Man United. We've attracted. People might say, "Oh, United are only 2 years old." They forget we're the biggest club in the world. We can attract anybody. And now we've got two proven World Cup winners, two of the best players that the US national team have had in many a year, and we've got them here. And I think we're just going to go out and we're going to prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, me and Nat said last week about the potential of this season, and you know, every interview that you see so far, you know, if our ambitions are up here, or if our expectations are up here, you can see why with what the players are saying and what the coaches are saying as well. Nat, just before we go, your thoughts on those two interviews?
I said we're here to win. We're not here to take part. That's it. We're here to take over, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, it's a whole American mentality, but it's Man United mentality as well.
And I think there's not enough of that in the women's game. But the Americans have always had it, and now it's time. And I think Casey goes up to these girls saying, "Now you can believe, you know, after we beat Man City, I've told them that they can win it." And I think, you know, now taking points off Chelsea, we beat Man City, that's it now. Forget what the name is, forget this and that. We're Man United, we're here to take over. That's the end, we're here to win trophies.
And on that note, I mean, what a way for Man United fans to be excited for the rest of the season. Absolutely. Look, guys, we've been going for exactly 1 hour, so thank you very much, Ben, for joining. Hope to see you again. Maybe come back on in 3 or 4 weeks' time. Absolutely. We'll get this going. Nat,
definitely, mate. Definitely.
Talk to us about your socials, Ben. I know that you've got a YouTube channel as well. You can find you on Twitter. I can see your Twitter handle in the description. Do you want to give your YouTube a shout out, mate?
It's not been going very long. It's more for my son, really, because YouTube, because we can't go to games, it's not really got much content, but it's Father, Sons and United. So I'm just trying it out, mate. I'm not really the best in front of the camera, but it's just for a laugh. And because he loves YouTube, I just want to do a little something for him.
There's some good points there, mate. I mean, I've seen your YouTube channel. I've seen you talk about Lee Sharp. I've seen you talk about quite a few different ones. Yeah, exactly. There'll be some content on there that some of these subscribers on this channel will want to see. So, so check it out, guys. Definitely. Natalie, where can people reach you in the Barmy Army?
At Natalie_17, Naughty Natty B on Twitter, and then just all on the socials and every social. We've got a podcast that runs every Wednesday, and you can get an update on that on a Thursday as well through your Spotify and your Apple Play. So it's just Barmy Army MUWFC. So go and check out everything that they're doing. They're good people. I'm part of the people working for the fans, innit?
Absolutely. And the podcast on the YouTube channel on Wednesday night just gone was probably one of the best I've watched for a while. So check that out. Got some good content on there as well. So yeah, thank you again for everybody. Thank you in the comments. Thanks for everyone who ends up commenting on these videos and subscribing to All for United. And we'll hope to see you again next week. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for that.
Cool.